Hello everyone, it's Shane Conto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my weekly interview show, where I learn a little bit more about somebody else's perspective on movies. And this is a little bit of a different approach to this particular episode, because joining me is my wife, Jess. Hi, Jess.
Hi.
Neither of us are the ones being interviewed, so it's Mother's Day as I'm recording this, and I interviewed my mom, Marie Conto, about the first round interview questions that I do for the show. She decided not to be on camera for this particular episode, but maybe in the future. So what's going to happen is Jess is going to ask the questions like I would normally do. Yes, and these answers are my mom's answers, so not mine. I'm going to give a little bit of perspective from me as her son answering these questions. But Jess, let's get started.
All right. First question, Marie. What is your favorite film?
So, my mom's two responses to this question. The main one was The Godfather, which, being an Italian American from New Jersey and growing up in a very ethnically Italian household, and my grandfather had made me watch The Godfather when I was 10, which my mom wasn't super about, but did watch it with me anyway. So
good for her.
The Godfather was a part of my experience growing up since I was a kid, and obviously it was a big part of my mom's experience watching movies, all three parts of The Godfather, and being ethnically Italian, I think it hits a particular chord. But also, I know my mom does love some Julie Andrews, and specifically her other choice was The Sound of Music, which I certainly grew up watching a lot with my mom, as much as you're going to get kids to sit down for like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
like,
never worked on me.
Like The Sound of Music. But I'm also a huge Julie Andrews fan, and so
What's the difference? What's the difference between us?
How could you? But my mom does love The Sound of Music, and I certainly watch that a lot. She grew up watching a lot of musicals and stuff like that, so Sound of Music's one of the most iconic and famous of musicals, so not surprised. What's the next question?
What is your earliest memory of going to the movies?
So my mom said that my grandmom would take them to these shows where they put on like musicals and stuff like that. And I think my mom said she was around 8 when she saw Thoroughly Modern Millie, which is a comedy musical. And I'm going to read the synopsis here. In New York City during the Roaring 20s, would-be flapper Millie Dillmon's self-appointed mission to marry her boss is complicated by white slavers and true love. So, interesting 1960s musical, and also probably something my 8-year-old mom probably shouldn't have been watching, but it was a Julie Andrews starring musical. So I think my grandmom thought, oh, that's good. Take the kids
fine.
too. Look at some of the cast. If I'm not mistaken, Mary Tyler Moore is also in this, and Carol Channing. So they had some pretty big name actresses of the time. Had Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi in it, plays Oriental Number 2, as put in the credits. It was 1967 when this movie came out. So apparently this was big, fun, kind of New York City tap dancing musical. So that was my mom's earliest memory of going to the movies. So definitely watching a lot of musicals were a big part of her life growing up. What's our next question?
What is your favorite genre?
My mom loves murder mysteries, and especially those British ones. Watching a lot of British television. We'll talk about, one of the answers isn't quite a movie later, but I certainly know that you'd just watch this anytime. But
it's pretty fun.
Murder mysteries are not exactly the most popular nowadays. You have Rian Johnson, who's kind of throwing some subversions in there with the Knives Out series that he's making. And you do have the more modern Poirot adaptations of Kenneth Branagh. But I do know that my mom loves Poirot. I don't know if she's seen the Albert Finney or Peter Ustinov versions of Murder on the Orient
It's the only ones I've
Express
seen.
and Death on the Nile. But she is a big one of the television Poirot. When he's a little guy with the...
Classic Hercule.
Exactly. So my mom, huge fan of murder mysteries. So we'll be talking about that in a little bit. What's our next question?
It is, who is your favorite filmmaker? And I really enjoyed her answer to this.
Martin Scorsese.
Well, initially she said she didn't know any filmmakers.
And then the only one was Martin Scorsese.
Well, the look that you gave her where you were like, are you sure about that?
I talked to her about that before I was even asking the questions. I told her...
I just thought it was funny when she said that.
I told her specifically she didn't have to have an answer to all the questions. Because here's the thing. My mom doesn't watch a ton of movies anymore. We did watch a lot of movies growing up. It's hard for my mom to keep the attention during it because of a head injury. So, like, she watches a lot more television since they're shorter pieces and stuff like that.
And you can pause them and stuff.
Yeah, but my mom did say initially, I don't really know any filmmakers. Or maybe, and then said Martin Scorsese. Yeah. So, more Italian people. So, we also appreciate some good paisans in my family growing up. Oh, it's interesting because I didn't watch a whole lot of Scorsese films growing up. Probably because...
It's probably for the best.
You have The Godfather's rated R, but it's not like Martin Scorsese rated R. There isn't F words every 5 seconds. It's not like Casino. It's not like Goodfellas. Yeah. So I don't think I watched a Scorsese film until high school. When I watched Raging Bull for the first time in a film class.
And even that doesn't have that many F-bombs compared to others. It's got domestic violence, though.
Yeah, Raging Bull's rough. Blood. But no, my mom, her actual answer was Martin Scorsese, which makes sense because we do appreciate some Italian filmmakers.
Who is your favorite actor/actress, and why are half of them Italian? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the first one it's Sylvester Stallone. My mom loves Sly. I took her to see the most recent Expendables movie for her birthday, so that just happened to come out perfect timing. My mom loves Sylvester Stallone. We've watched Rocky and...
Copland changed my mind about him a bit.
And we watched the Rocky and Rambo films a lot when I was growing up, so she's a big fan of Stallone and, still watching him in Tulsa King and stuff like that. And... She didn't mention him when I asked the question, but I know 100% this is accurate. She also loves Bruce Willis.
She did way after the fact. She circled back.
She loves Bruce Willis, and we watched Die Hard a lot growing up.
Bald guys?
Yes, because my mom loves a good bald man. And Bruce Willis one of them.
It's from... Was it in The King and I?
Yes, because my mom also mentioned The King and I and loved Yul Brynner.
Because he was a bald guy. That's what did it for.
So, which Bruce Willis is certainly one of them. She does look like a good Jason Statham movie, which is why I specifically took my mom to see Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
She loved it.
Because it had both The Rock and Jason Statham in it. But she did mention... See, I didn't wind up looking up
I was wondering that. I was thinking but...
I'm just going to say Saoirse Cusack, who's from the show Father Brown, which my mom loves her British murder mysteries, so apparently she really likes this actress who's a regular character. And I did watch the first season of this show, so I do recognize her. She is a lot of fun. But my mom also mentioned Sandra Bullock, and really enjoying her work. And of course, Marissa Tomei. Very specifically bringing up My Cousin Vinny.
Which she did win an award for.
Which she did win Best Supporting Actress for My Cousin Vinny, which I've watched My Cousin Vinny quite a few times with my mom. And that's the one that goes well over it with my family.
I did not know that many not Italian people have seen that. I haven't seen that. I don't know, because I was making references. I just assumed people had seen it, and I was making references at work, and people were like, what's that from? Really?
Two Utes?
Yeah, because we were talking about, anyway, we won't get sidebar, but basically
they're not cultured individuals.
We were deciding what to call clients, and someone suggested Utes, and I was like, 2 Utes? And they looked at me like, they're like, why are you saying it that way?
Disappointing. Disappointing people.
You know the Italian teacher got it, though. We have one teacher.
If you're an Italian American and haven't seen My Cousin Vinny, it's probably because your family hasn't shown you yet.
And she's from New York proper, too.
So there you go.
What film could you watch literally every day, Marie?
Which, this is the one that's not a film, but it is Midsummer Murders, because my mom can throw any episode of Midsummer Murders. All the seasons have like 5 episodes, but they're like 90 to 120 minutes a piece, because they're basically like little movies every single episode. So like it's pretty legit. I watched a couple episodes and I'm just like, I don't know if I can binge this for me personally, because like they are like feature length episodes, but obviously it's a lot of British murder mystery. My mom's a big murder mystery fan. My mom's probably favorite streaming service ever would be BritBox. A lot of great stuff on there. A lot of great murder mysteries.
She'd love to go to England. What film connects closely to another interest of yours?
So my mom's answer is Mannequin.
I love that.
Because my mom, for a long time, worked at JCPenney. Mm-hmm. And was one of the interior decorators, like setting up everything with the mannequins and stuff like that. So this 1987 comedy romance, Mannequin.
She was quick on that answer, too.
Yes, which I did specifically remember that Kim Cattrall was the mannequin of the film. Did not remember James Spader was in this movie. Or Estelle Getty, a.k.a.
Oh, yeah, Sophia.
Sophia from Golden Girls. So... And Andrew McCarthy, who's like definitely like an 80s actor.
I just remember She Comes Alive at Night, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So like the mannequin comes to life. So it's very, very like 80s rom-com-y. Andrew McCarthy's from like Pretty in Pink and Weekend at Bernie's and stuff like that. So definitely something that struck a chord with my mom, because she certainly worked with a lot of mannequins. Next question. Okay,
it's number 8. Does that mean there was no answer for number
8? Well, just read the question.
What movie character do you connect with on a personal level?
This was one that my mom really didn't have a specific answer to, which is fine, because I think it's hard to make that connection between like, we're complex people, human beings. We live lives, and our lives aren't limited to a specific situation that's like portrayed in a movie. And it was okay, and I didn't want to press my mom. She thought for a little while. Why not? And so my mom thought for a little while and didn't come up with anything specific, which is perfectly fine.
It's a hard question. What film do you love that would surprise people?
So my mom's answer was like The Sound of Music, and I'm like, I don't think that would really like
It's a pretty standard people. Mom movie.
But this did give me the opportunity to bring up, if it wasn't murder mysteries, 100% would be action movies. My mom is an action movie fan, and I can say I certainly spent a lot of time watching True Lies growing up, all the Die Hard movies. I would say probably like Rambo, also, being like movies that she really enjoyed, where I feel like that might surprise people, because they could certainly get pretty darn violent. But no, my mom's a big action movie fan, which I came by it honestly, which is why I am.
Also, the absolute stranglehold that bald men have on the action industry in many ways.
Absolutely.
Love that for them.
And the last question.
What do you love most about movies?
So my mom's answer was how she can escape to places where she's never been. I'm 100% sure she would love to go to England sometime. So she certainly spends a lot of time watching her British television shows and probably imagining being a little British village or something like that.
Honestly, the whole cottage thing, like from The Holiday, I get it. Give me a Higgy, please. Your mom can have one next door.
I think my mom would love to just like disappear into like this little British village and stuff like that.
Cozy little fireplace.
Hopefully not one of the ones where there's murders all the time. That there's enough murders for there to be literal episodes of a series.
Maybe she can be the new father, bro. It's assistant.
Oh, my mom would love to be investigator in a British murder mystery.
Tender garden. They don't have yards there. They have gardens.
Okay.
Love that.
So, how I like to wrap up this show is I like my guest to ask me a question, which I did ask my mom to ask me a question. And she specifically asked me, what keeps you interested in watching movies? Because she mentioned, like, she's known since I was a kid, like, I would love watching movies. I'd spend so much time watching movies. I've been collecting, I've had movie collections since, like, back when I had VHS tapes, when I had almost every single James Bond on VHS, tons of Disney movies. I remember when my mom first kind of started expanding my DVD collection with a box set of the original Star Wars, a box set of Rocky, a box set of the trilogy of Indiana Jones, before a fourth and fifth film even came out. And I spend a lot of time watching movies, obviously. Those who follow my channel and stuff like that know. I definitely am known as the one with a lot of my movie friends, is the one that like watches all the new movies and stuff like that. And that's tough because like there's a lot of new movies that aren't great, or they're just not something that super piques my interest, even if I think it's like a good film and stuff like that. I watch so many movies that I'm not excited about, which, not to go off on a tangent, I saw somebody trying to say that AMC A-List is not a good deal because it's like their exact argument was, well, they say if you go see 2 movies, it pays for itself. But what months do you get 2 good movies in? And I'm just like, that sounds like a person that does not have an open mind or is willing to go to the movie.
I don't go to as many as you do. I think I see at least 3 movies I think are worth seeing a month.
It's one of those kinds of things where it's like there's so many movies that come out, and so many of them are not things that like I'm excited about going in and watching. Like, I'll watch it and stuff like that. So I have to find balance in terms of, sometimes I just need to watch some of my movies that I love and, thrown in Shrek or Lord of the Rings or Mad Max and just, enjoying a movie that I love. That's honestly the main reason I do the Wasteland Vintage Roadshow podcast, is it gives me an excuse every month to watch one of my favorite movies. And you need to spend time doing that, and I do like going back in time and catching up on like classic films and things that are beloved that more than likely like there's a good chance that I'll enjoy. So it's one of those kinds of things where it's like, and it's also like, I have a passion for this, and like it would be cool, like basically I'm creating my own film study for myself, and like I've taken one cinema class in high school and 1 film class in college. I've never had a formal education on film, but like I've created my own education on film. And I study it. I go back in film history. I look at all these kinds of things. I read books on it. It's something that like I have a passion for. So that passion keeps me going, but sometimes I just need a little injection of, the ones that I love that keep reminding me why I love it so much.
You need a palate cleanser.
You can't just watch a whole bunch of crap all the time and then still keep passionate about it.
Oh boy, do you get some
stinkers. And Jess knows because she watches a lot of them.
Usually I pick them, honestly. It's usually my pick.
And, I
do my best.
There's movies that I do get excited about, and those are the ones I'm excited, like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, Deadpool and Wolverine. Those Nosferatu coming out later this year. Those are films that got me excited.
Kinds of Kindness for me.
Yeah, that definitely is
I want
gonna
to see in which way it's gonna make me feel weird.
all of the ways. And through the beginning of this year with Dune and Challengers and Kung Fu Panda 4, because I love Kung Fu Panda, and just all those films that, you know, they're the ones I look forward to going week to week. There's weekends where I'm just like, I'm not excited about any of these movies, but I'm excited about film. And one of the coolest things is you just popping on a random movie or going to a theater for a random movie and just being like blown away by it and leaving. You're just like, holy crap, that was really cool. You know, like Late Night with the Devil this year, or The Last Stop in Yuma County that I watched a couple weeks ago. And like, those are films and like hundreds of beavers.
Yeah, we love
hundreds of beavers.
We are a hundreds of beavers household.
So those are the things that keep me interested and excited about film. And hopefully I'll get my mom to come on for real next time. But I did appreciate her taking the time on Mother's Day to answer these questions. The main reason I really wanted to do this is I'm almost on my 200th episode of Lost in the Wasteland, and I had not had my mom on. And, you know, I wanted to talk to her about some movies. So, Mom, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well, learning a little bit more about my mom and my connection with my mom and my connection with her through movies. Because, you know, I came by it honestly. I didn't like magically find a whole bunch of movies by myself.
Would say, you come by it honestly.
So, but Jess, thank you for emceeing this special edition of Lost in the Wasteland.
You're welcome. It's great to be you for a moment.
And thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.